So this is just going to be a basic longboard cleaning video, just so the bearings and all that stuff there. This is by no means, the best way to do it. This is how I do it and how it's been taught to me. So here goes. You're going to need some gloves, lubricant, WD-40. I know it's not a lubricant, but it works. Glass jar, wrench, screwdriver, alcohol, and paper towels. You're going to want to remove your wheels first. Just take off the nut here with your wrench, and then from there you can take off the bearings, whatever washers you have in there. As you can see, my wheels, already some of the mud's beginning to come off. So this is going to be a total cleaning for the whole board. Now you can see we have the wheels off and how dirty they actually were. Just to get those out, all you need to do is hit them, and they should come right out. All the metallic components, the bearings, the washers, even the nuts if you feel like it. Any old glass jar, fill it up with alcohol, usually the purer the better. I'm using 91% as you can see, and we're just going to let them soak in there for about an hour. So we only just put that in and started swirling it around, but already you could see how murky that is. We're going to change out the alcohol once or twice more just to get it really clean. For now, we're going to concentrate on the other components of the board. We're now going to clean the truck itself. I found this to start squeaking when it gets dirty or if it doesn't have enough oil in it. So I'm just going to quickly clean this part here. Start by just disassembling the truck assembly so you can get to all the functioning components. Again, this variable wrench here makes it really simple to actually to get to. If you want to be really thorough, you can take off the rest of the truck here so you can get to the rest of it as well. For the base of the truck, I'm just going to take a paper towel with some alcohol on it and just start scrubbing it down. You could also use a toothbrush or a rag if you really want to get really deep in there. The idea here is to clean off all the mud and excess oil that has dirtied it up, so you can get a fresh coat of clean oil on when all this is done. Should be nice and shiny when you're all done. I actually got a toothbrush as well, so you can really get into the grit there if you want to. Just dip that in alcohol and it should come right out. So it's not perfect, but again, most of the mud's been taken off. We're just going to let that dry because the alcohol will evaporate in a couple seconds basically. You could repeat it on the other part of the truck as well as these washers here too. One other thing to note when you're cleaning this part is that you really want to get the edge here where your bearings and wheels are going on, because there's a lot of excess oil and dirt there, so you're going to want to clean that out really nice. For the rubber parts, as well as if you have a plastic riser, you can just clean that with actually soap and water. I don't want to use alcohol on that for fear of degrading any kind of plastic that may be in there. And all this is a little bit of hand soap and water. For the rubber components, just make sure that you dry them really well when you are done with them, because you don't want to degrade the rubber. So now that your truck assembly is essentially clean, you can put it back together, and now would also be a good time to clean out the bearings jar here. As you can see, that alcohol solution is now really murky. Now that we have some good looking trucks, let's continue on to the wheels. Now for the wheels, I'm told you could use Windex. I'm just going to use soap and water because that's what I have. But even if you just do a quick cleaning, that's basically the color they were when I first got them. I'm going to do a little better job with it and then just rinse it off with some plain water here, and we'll see how it turns out. Again, be sure to dry the wheels once you're done with them. And now is a good point to take a drink of actual water, because it's about 80 degrees out here. So we just cleaned the wheels. We're in the process of cleaning the bearings. The only thing really left is the board itself. But before we do that, again, you could see how gross the alcohol solution is. We're going to pour this out for the third and final time and get those bearings really clean. To clean the underside of the board, just some regular water on a damp cloth will usually do it. If not, soap and water should get most of it out. For the top of the board, the only thing you could really do with this is take a damp cloth and just kind of pat out any place where you see dirt. It's not the most effective thing in the world, but if you try to drag it or use paper towel, you may actually be able to see it. You're going to get little streaks of the cloth or the paper towel in the sandpaper. So this is typically how I do it, and it gets it at least looking a little cleaner than it was before. Now to clean the bearings, finally, just obviously have to dump them out. And once you have them, you can see there's still a little bit of junk on some of them. So I just take them against a paper towel and just spin them, and already you could see all of the oil and grease and dirt that was coming off of this one. So that's all the grease that was left in the bearings even after the cleanings. If you want to get them really clean, you can soak them again after you've cleaned them on the paper towel, and then repeat this. You can do this as many times as you want. I usually only do it once or twice, especially after they've been soaking for that long, so this should be okay. The only really thing left to do now is assemble it and then lubricate all of the moving components. So now that the base of it's actually assembled, we'll put on the bearings and wheels and then start lubrication. The final step of cleaning the longboard would be lubricating it so it can be ready for use next time. Anywhere where you see two metal parts rubbing against each other would be a good candidate for lubrication. Of course, you're going to need to lubricate the bearings right here from both sides, and right over here would be another good place to do it, just because that's where everything moves around. And then once you get it in the bearing, it's a good idea just to spin it around to get everything in there nice and well. And you now have a shiny new longboard to show off to everybody. This will work for skateboards or any other kind of boards like this as well. Again, this may not be the best way to do it, or the cleanest, fastest, but this is how I do it, and it works just fine. I hope this was helpful to you, and have a great day. Enjoy the ride.